This next one's a tricky debate. A veteran grade school teacher was fired, but again, not for anything that she did. By all accounts, her performance, terrific here, loved in the community here, and by certainly the children she taught and their parents. The woman you see in front of you, Carrie Charlesworth, was fired for what her ex-husband did. Now, she herself, Carrie, is a domestic violence victim and a dedicated school teacher in the Roman Catholic Diocese of San Diego for more than 14 years now. But now she finds herself out of a job. Charlesworth divorced her husband 2 years ago, and she got a restraining order because he was physically abusive. But last January, Charlesworth's ex, he showed up in Holy Trinity's parking lot. School, they went into lockdown, and the next day they put Charlesworth and her children, who were students there, on indefinite leave. The diocese says it will not renew her contract, expressing concerns about student safety. They went on to say of Charlesworth's ex that he has a, quote, 20-plus year history of abuse and harassment directed not just at her, but at other women, and that a restraining order was, quote, not a deterrent to him. Charlesworth says that's just not fair.
I've done everything that they tell a victim of domestic violence to do, and yet I still got punished because he made the choice to show up to school that day. I paid the ultimate price by losing my job. My children lost their school. They didn't get to say goodbye to their friends.
Now, Charlesworth and her attorney say they're exploring options for a possible lawsuit against the San Diego Archdiocese. All right. Listen, I think instinctively, obviously we all feel for the poor woman here, a victim twice here, losing her job through no fault of her own because of the creep ex-husband. If you're the school, what do? I start with you. What would you do if you're the school and the guy, let's say from the facts that we understand, he's a credible threat to the school, obviously to the employee and the kids that are in there and in different classrooms. What would you do if you were the school?
They could do something like put her on paid leave. They could do something to protect both the children, which has obviously got to be their first priority, but not send this woman into poverty, throw these 4 kids out of school. You know, what's frustrating about this is she's absolutely right. She did everything you're told to do when you are an abused spouse. But why do people go back? Because they can't live without the person. She can't live without a job. She
needs support
for her kids. Let's say they did the right thing
economically. Should she and her kids basically be put out of the school, even if they're made whole, let's say, with a check that she's on paid leave? Should the school still be able to say, sorry, I know it's not your fault here, but I can't put the other kids at risk in this school and the other teachers, I'm going to have to remove you and basically put you out of work, albeit paid. If they did the right thing with the paycheck, were they still right to remove her and the kids?
You know, I think they can find alternatives. Can they move her to another school? Can they move the kids to another school? Put her on paid leave? You know, there are options. Yes, they have to. Yeah, they have to protect these kids. I get that, but they also have a duty to this teacher and to those 4 kids as well.
Richard, you asked what should the school do? They should hire the best law firm in San Diego because they're going to need it. Because this woman is going to be very, very wealthy. They have violated almost every right you can think of. If this man is dangerous, that's what the police are for. That's the police department's job to make sure, you know, you keep this man away or whatever.
Right. But let me make it harder for both of you. Let's say they made this woman full and that they paid for her full salary. Okay, they put her on paid leave. Okay, and
I still don't see how you can do that legally.
I don't even know you can.
She didn't do anything wrong.
But now,
based on what
now
we're
the other parents come and say, "Time out here." They got some wacko who's showing up in the parking lot, who's consistently being a threat, who's made overt threats. I don't know that to be the case, but hypothetically here, made overt threats to come get her in the workplace. This is post-Newtown now, right? What responsibility does the school have to the other kids, the other students, the other teachers?
The school's responsible to everyone equally, but the school should be saying to the mother, do you have a restraining order? Oh, you do have a restraining order? Okay, go to the district attorney and make that district attorney enforce that restraining order, and that's the end of it. You step ground on this school ground or near here, we're going to lock you up.
And get proper security at the school, so if he shows up in the parking lot, he's arrested.
I mean, this guy's committed 2 crimes. He's breaking the restraining order and he's bringing a gun onto school grounds. It's not her fault. But let me answer your question with another question. What if she wasn't the ex-wife? What if it was just a stalker who was, you know, attractive woman. I'm going to stalk this woman and make her fall in love. And she then hasn't done anything at all to encourage that. Would she still be penalized the same way? It's essentially the same thing happening.
Yeah, I think she would. I think the rationale of the school, which I don't agree with, but the rationale of the school is her employment here is creating a clear and present danger to the rest of the students and the staff. We have to do everything we can to try and create a safe environment for the kids.
But you're letting the guy with the vendetta win
You are.
that case.
Yep.
And even if you take the woman out of it, what about the rights of the children? You're infringing on their education. They really should hire the best law firm that's in San Diego. They're going to need it.
I have a feeling you guys are right. All right. Now, when we come back here, a man was cuffed. For what? Cursing. Now, we're going to get into it because it's an interesting question. All of us at one point, if you ever got a speeding ticket or you ever got something, either you cursed under your breath. But what if you didn't do it under your breath and you said it out loud to the cop, or even better yet, like this guy that we'll tell you about, said it to the judge? We're going to tell you about that after this, so please stay with us.